videos. Hi YouTube. So tonight we are going to work on the Christmas countdown. So we already did one. Shoot, I meant to grab it. I have it over here. Hold on. So we have, this was the one that we did, well, I don't know, like last week. So you can see it's still kind of, definitely if you're going to do the banners, iron it first. I thought the wrinkle would come out, but it'll actually come out as it hangs. So, but you know, don't be like me. Okay, so let's see. So tonight we're gonna work with like part of the kit. I was gonna say with the whole kit actually. So this is the transfer. This is the first time you're seeing it. And it comes all as one piece, but I like to, certain transfers, I like to just cut them apart. It makes it easier. So say like if you wanted to do this in a different way, which we're going to use it a little bit different tonight. So it's not going to be exactly how it's meant to go. It's just easier, I think, sometimes to cut them apart. And again, as far as cutting them, as long as you're cutting where it's green, it doesn't matter. I mean, if you had some kind of project that you wanted to use the numbers for, more power to you. You could cut all those numbers apart, but there's definitely like easier way to do numbers than doing that. But so that's what we're working with. So just in case you haven't seen the kit before, the other times that I've showed it, this is what it looks like when it's finished. The way that, they show you that you can finish it. But of course, like we have to be extra and we have to do it a different way. So we tried the banner. And then we are going to use the little house. But as you can see, I painted it. And all I did, and I didn't want to do this live because, who wants to sit and watch paint dry? But all I did was I just took some watered down white craft paint. And I just put a couple layers on. And I also did this part too, because I wanted this to have kind of like the, brighter kind of look. Kind of almost has like an off-whitish white color. And I wanted to dull down some of these, some of the lines that you see from from the texture of the wood. So, and these just became available again today. So what you get when you purchase this is you get the transfer, you get the surface, you get this little sheet of directions, and it's actually really neat if you'd rather watch the video, like a video, but it's going to show you how to do it just like that. You can just use the QR code. You get 3 pastes. You get a little squeegee. You get the little wreath, which I'll show you. I don't know why, like the little things always impress me. Let me just move this out of the way. But, so once you put this on here, which actually I should show you because we're not going to be able to put it on here because it'll still be wet. So that magnet is like, it's pretty strong. So, like wherever you put it. So. But definitely, if you're using this around kids, just, maybe don't use the magnet. If you have really little kids that would be touching it, just because you wouldn't want them to swallow that. Or put it up on your mantle or something so that they can't reach it. Here's like my little PSA. All right, and just really quick, this is the wait, what month are we in? The November Club Couture transfer. I am so excited for the project that I have planned for this. I was actually doing like a little bit of the work to get ready for it today. I'm I don't know. I'm very excited. It's going to be so cute. So that is going to be, I want to, in the next couple days. I'm not sure what day. I know some people that I'm trying to think of what day customers get it on, but I know I have like a couple people that should be getting it any day now. So I kind of wanted to wait in case they, so they could watch along. But so that is coming up. Okay. All right. So we'll get started. Because I painted this and because it's like one of the wood surfaces, I do want to wax it with the surface wax. But first, and I'm just going to use one of the board erasers, and I'm going to just, I don't know if that's going to make a horrible noise. I'm just going to take a half of it, and I'm just going to only use that just for wax. So, but before I do that, I want to just like go like over this with a little bit of sandpaper. It'll just kind of knock down some of that like paint, like the, like the wood. I can't talk. When you paint something, it raises the grain of the wood. That's what I'm trying to spit out. So I'm just going to like quickly do that. And I'm sorry if this noise is like really obnoxious, but ooh, it kind of really is. And this is just like a cheap sanding block. So, and it really does make a difference. And if you wanted to, you could sand this down. I'm not going to. It does have kind of a rough texture, but, and I'm just gonna knock the dust off onto the floor because I moved my garbage can. So I also want to show you, this is the color that the edge was. We're going to actually do this one more time. And so I taped off this side. And I'm trying to think. It's going to just give it like a crisp edge. Oh, and I actually took off the brown, but that's all right. Because I'm going to decorate this side with it, like different. I don't want to give that away yet. Okay, so tonight I am actually going to use one of the paste packs. I didn't for the last time I used it, but this is like the perfect color green for what I have in mind. So it comes with pesto, black velvet, and candy apple. So, and there's enough paste in there to actually be able to do this project. I mean, I don't know how many times. It depends on what, what colors you use for what part of it. So I just took a little bit. I didn't realize if I did that off camera or not. I took a little and I'm just kind of wiping it on there. And I'm just kind of like, and I'm going to go in an opposite of like the grain or like on an angle to the grain just to kind of make this paste, the wax push into it. And what this is going to do is just going to like create like a little barrier between the transfer and the wood so that it doesn't, oops, maybe this isn't the best. Yeah, it's working. Just so that it doesn't pick up like the wood. Sometimes, especially when things are like freshly painted. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a bad noise. And now I'm just going to tip it because I'll be able to see with the, 25 lights that are on in here, the spots I've missed. And you just want to make sure you don't have any like chunks of it on there because that doesn't help you. And I'm just going to kind of go back over it again. I definitely wouldn't use like a paper towel to do this. I usually have, with my other wax, I just use, I use like a piece of like cotton fabric. I know I have a couple spots where there's like little pieces of wax, so I'm just going to use the paper towel to like pick it up. Either that or it's like pieces of the sponge. Actually, I lied. I'm gonna use a paper towel. I wouldn't do this like a lot though with the paper towel because what's gonna happen is just going to put like all length from the paper towel there. But I just have a couple spots that are like, I could see it in the light. And I'm like barely pressing the paper towel because I don't want the fibers of the paper towel to catch. Okay, so I'm not going to use the countdown to Christmas because let's face it, when you decorate your house for the holidays, it's pretty obvious, like, you know, whatever, you know, what you're celebrating, you know, Christmas or, you know, whatever. So it doesn't, I don't think it needs to say it, at least for this one. So we're just going to use just the numbers, okay? All right, I am going to fuzz this because we've only used it the one time. I think I used it a couple times, but I don't want it to be super, super sticky because I want to obviously be able to peel it off and not get stuck. All right. So let's, hold on. There's like a little bit of, always a dog hair, right? Okay, so I'm going to bring this like right up to the top and I'm going to try to center it the best I can. Nobody is going to be coming to my house and measuring, you know, to make sure I have it centered. If they are, they're uninvited. All right, so I'm going to start in the center and I'm going to go out to the sides because I don't want to have air bubbles. This is like a very, what is that, ASMR? Like all the little noises. Crinkling plastic. Sanding, all the things. There's like, I don't know. Looks like there's something there, but maybe it's just the angle I'm at. Okay. I just put this to the side. So it's one less thing in the way. There's more plastic noises for you. All right, so it looks pretty good. So I'm just gonna squeeze out just a tiny bit of this paste. But first, what I want to do, I want to like kind of squish it around in here, choosing my words carefully. And I just want to make sure that it's all mixed together because, you know, like all this stuff when it's manufactured and it sits, it kind of, you know, just like peanut butter, like you gotta mix that oil in. I don't know. I don't want to open this up and then have it just, you know, be gross. Okay, so I am just going to cut the tiniest little corner off. And hopefully that's enough. I was going to put it right on here, but I think I'll be like a little more professional and go on my little... Now, I just want to squeeze out a tiny bit. I know this looks like dirty, but it's from paint and stuff, so it's not going to mix with it. I just want to use a little bit because remember, like toothpaste, once you squeeze it out, you can't put it back in. So we're definitely going to need more than that. But I just want to make sure that I'm not, you know, I'm not wasting it because I'm cheap. And I'm going to just add a little touch of white to this because I want it a little bit lighter. And that's like the great thing with the, you know, the different paste colors. If it doesn't match your, I can't even talk. If it doesn't match your, you know, your decor, you can kind of like adjust it so that it does. Okay, I was doing a project with faux fur a little while ago, and I just feel like it's just like it's still everywhere in here. And I just saw like a piece of it, like on the counter, or on the table rather. Okay, so I'm just gonna mix this up, and I'm actually gonna add a little like pinch of gray to this. I know this doesn't seem very Christmassy, but I want to say like trust me, but like I don't know. Hopefully, hopefully it comes out how I want it to. I have like this little vision in my head of what I want it to be. So, and you know what? If all else fails, we can just clean it off, sand it down, and just start over. And actually, with using the wax on there, you might be able to even maybe just wipe it off while it's still wet and be able to do it again. Okay. So this looks kind of like a gross color, but I wanted it to be very muted because the way that I did the frame is pretty muted. And hopefully this is enough because we'll have to try to get that color. But I mean, if you look, the amount of, open space isn't really that much. So we'll just, instead of going and doing the whole, row of numbers, because then we're going to like waste a little paste. We're going to just kind of, do this so we can save a little. Now, if you wanted to go and do like the 24 and the 25, do those in a different color, you could definitely do that. See, like I was worried, and we're still on the first scoop of paste. We'll do it. We barely use any. That's one thing though, when you mix a color, you want to really make sure you mix enough. I actually have like empty containers that I'll go and I'll put the paste into, like after. Now this one, because I actually mixed old paste and new paste, I don't know how long this will take to dry, like without blow drying it. Just a little. And I'm just gonna catch the end. And we're gonna lift it up. We don't want to go by a corner. We want to kind of, and I'm just gonna go slow in case there's like a spot I missed, which I'm pretty sure I got everything. Okay, now do you see like the color? There's some of that faux fur. The color, like the muted tones, I feel like it, like when you see it there, I don't think it looks as, I don't know. Like this kind of looks a little meh, like sage green, but like not as pretty. So there's our, I don't know how well you guys can see that. And now like this, all I'm going to do, I'm just going to like literally wipe that little teeny bit of paste that was right in the corner. And I have my placement tape. Now, I mean, you could use any tape. It doesn't have to be this. I don't know why the computer is like so loud right now. It's thinking. And all I'm doing is just going to tape over this little, where I cut it open. And so there's still like a lot in here. Like if you look, I mean, look at just like we barely used any of it. Okay. And I'm just going to put that to the side and hopefully I don't knock it over. All right. So now, I'm like in love with all these little trees. Hopefully, let me see. I know you could see it on YouTube, but how well you should see it here. Oh, the one thing I didn't get, my stupid wire cutters. Hopefully they're in here. Oh, hold on. Of course I didn't put them back where they go. And that's the good thing too, that I have it so you can't see my face, so you can't see me struggle with the wire cutters. So the little trees, I can kind of like leave them in there, but maybe like the bigger trees, let's see. Now I want to be careful, obviously, that I don't like touch where I just put this. Let me just I'm sorry you can't see what I'm doing, but I just wanted to see how much. Let me just move this. How much to cut. I'll just like rearrange all this stuff here. Okay, so I'm gonna leave the bases on the little ones, but the bigger ones, I think I'm gonna cut them off because they are like pretty wide. I feel like I just pulled them off the other day and it worked better. Except I squished the tray. So yeah, definitely good that you couldn't see my face because I know I just made a really weird face pulling that apart. Okay. So same with this one. I'm just kind of like twisting it and then pulling it. Oh my God. I hear it breaking, but there we go. I just know like these wire cutters, I would probably not really be able to do it with those. Okay, so I'm working on this little paper because I'm also gonna like trim some of the back of this, and I know this stuff is gonna be like everywhere, and hopefully it doesn't go in my project. But I want to be able to kind of push this up against the board. I'm just putting my hand there so these don't fly everywhere. So now I just made it so it's a little bit flatter, so it'll sit against there a little better. And I'm not really worried about the rest of it, just because this will kind of, once it's in there, we'll be able to move it around. And I'm just gonna pick, this is the side I messed up the most, so I don't know. If they start flinging everywhere, I just had like a horrible thought. I'm like, what if I just cut my finger while I was doing this? It probably would like go viral. That's okay, I didn't need that finger. So I just basically made it a little half tree. I mean, if you wanted to, you could bend that back, whatever. Or snip this a little bit shorter. And of course now my garbage, I put it like out of the way, so it's further away. Let me just get rid of this so that I don't have it everywhere. Because that I don't want to flick on the floor because I'll definitely have like a dog eating it or something. It'll come in here. All right, so I'm still going to be really careful because I don't know how dry that is. And let's see. Ooh, maybe we could do that. That's not what I planned, but no, we'll go with what I planned. All right, this I actually am gonna bend this over. I'm not gonna, well, I probably can't cut it with these cutters, but I'm not gonna cut it because I don't want all these little things, the little bristles to fall out. So I just kind of like bent it back just so it sits a little flatter and I can kind of like push it down toward the bottom here. So you could use, use hot glue to do this. Definitely like E6000 would work really well. I love that glue. But if you're gonna do that, you want to do like hot glue with it, because the hot glue will hold it in place, while the E6000 dries. So I also want to make sure this is kind of straight. I'm just gonna like press it into place without destroying the. But now that I ripped those out, I think I have to rip these out because that looks kind of dumb. See, you change what you're doing, like, this I don't think will. There we go. There's like nothing to grab onto with that. There we go. So the same thing with this one. I'm just going to take that little end, and even if it bends some of the little pine needles, that's fine. And I realize these are not like the right kind of pliers, but of course I have some right here. So let me just squish this a little. All right, and now I just kind of mushed that, so I'm just gonna kind of push it back. And now the same thing, I'm gonna glue, and I actually want these two, let's see where we want them. I feel like a little bit, I wanted them right next to each other, but I'm gonna put like a little space, but I wanna, just like a little tiny space between them. And also just be mindful when you're pushing down on, the trees or like stuff like this, that the glue can come right through it and burn you. And hot glue burns are just very painful. It's like burning yourself with the curling iron. Okay, just kind of hold it till the glue sets. And then I want to put a little one right in between. But I'm not going to push it all the way back. I want to keep it a little bit forward. So same thing, just so that that end looks a little better. And I'm actually going to do the other one right now too. But now these, I'm not worrying about like kind of flattening them at all, because, well, that's not necessary because they're so little. And then just kind of like readjust the little branches. But now this one, we're going to just more be gluing it like just on the bottom. And the other trees will kind of help hold it in place too, that texture. Oops, not quite. This would actually be cute to just do the trees all the way across the bottom. I don't have enough small trees to do that. Otherwise I would really think about that. And now with this one, I'm actually not going to use this wreath, I don't think. I think somewhere in all my craft stuff, I think I have a little tiny wreath that's like this. But actually, I don't know. That wouldn't. I think that would be fine too, whichever. But now, like if you had, just like they have like little trees like this too, I've seen where they have, they match like those villages, and they have like little miniature lights on them, all kinds of stuff. Okay, so now this one, let me just see which side of this little tree is the pretty side. Now I'm not going to go all the way to the corner. I'm going to leave a little space. And we'll just, and this is all, obviously like personal preference. Shoot, any more glue as to, how many trees you put, where you put them. Oh, now we have glue strings. All right, I just gotta stand it up for 1 second. I just want to make sure I got like the better side of the tree forward. There's like glue strings everywhere now. Now our next little step will help like hold these little trees in place. I just like was thinking too. If you had a bigger surface, that would be cute to put that like right in between. It's just like, can we, would that fit? Let's rip these trees off and I'll put it down there. Okay, so now if you watched the other day, we had this puffy paint that I bought for some project, who knows. And let me just grab one to show you. So this was the puffy paint that I used on here, this white. I don't know if you could even really, it has a slight like texture to it. I will say, if you're using this, hold on, let me grab another one. And you're going over something that has, you know, a color already, you may get a little bleed from, you know, and this was 100% dry before I did that. Yeah, the color bled through it, and I actually let it all dry and then went back and added another layer of this and more glitter, and it still came through. So I don't, it doesn't bother me though. But so that was the puff. What is that called? Puffy paint. Okay. So the only thing with this, it says that you should, when you let it dry, to leave it laying flat. So it must drip. So whatever. Let me just knock off some of this. There's like little pieces of the trees on here. All right. Let me just so you guys can see. I'm sorry, like I feel like Facebook has a crappy view, but all right, so I'm gonna put it kind of just down like on this edge here, but I'll keep it so you guys can see it obviously, and I'll stand up. So this, you're supposed to shake it first. So I just did that. And I'm just gonna put it kind of, let me just see, am I still on camera? Just kind of blob it in there so it's like snow. Now I'm gonna, when I'm done here, I'm gonna stand it up so that it doesn't, you know. Let me just hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. And I'm just kind of letting it like be like just globs. I'm not getting like fussy with it. And I'm sure there's like other products out there that might work a little better. But this is what I had. Yeah, I can see it's definitely dripping backward. And I'm gonna leave like a little space. And I'm just gonna kind of make it, I'm gonna fill this in over here. And I guess too, you probably could go back in and do like, make it thicker if it wasn't thick enough for you. I just want to go right back to the backing there. Oops, I'm sorry. It's like, this is so awkward. And I just want to make sure that I don't have any like straight lines in there either. Okay. So I just wanted something like really kind of simple. And of course, let's bring out the glitter, right? So I'm just gonna lift this up. And the glitter. Let's see. Hold on. It's open, but it's not. There's probably like a ton is gonna come out now. Or not. Really? Come on. There's like a piece of plastic that's kind of the little tab. It's getting caught in there. Again, I'm just gonna like kind of really put this on, and I'll let it dry, and then I'll tap it off. how well you guys can see that. I know it's hard to get it with the light. I feel like you could see it a little better on YouTube than on Facebook, but so that is our project for tonight. I may even like all the way up at the top here, maybe do some icicles like how on the little gingerbread houses. I'm not sure, but so this is it. You could even go into and put some on the trees and put more glitter on there. Let's do it, right? Why not? Just to give it a little clumps of snow, because this is the only place we want snow right now. We don't want real snow. And hopefully that doesn't look, I don't know. I love when I do something and I'm like, I don't know. Maybe. So same thing, we'll just keep piling on the glitter. Glitter will make everything better. This thing will have glitter coming off of it for like the next 20 years. That actually, with it, because I'll have to leave it standing like this to dry, that might make the drips come out a little better. All right, well, thank you so much for watching, and have a great night. Hold on, I'm trying, like, how am I going to hold this and hit the end? All right, thanks for watching. Oh my gosh, every time. Bye, YouTube. Thanks for watching.